Hello and welcome. This is Elle, and today I'm going to be discussing the inspiration for my Leading Ladies series. I'm going to do a little bit of a story time about my first time going to a strip club and how that inspired me to write this series. The illustration I'm going to be working on today is like a rough draft of the cover art for my next graphic novel. So this is going to be Leading Lady, the second book, which I'm calling right now The Comeuppance. And the name of the series is The Witches of Atlantic City. So my first time going to Atlantic City was a really magical experience because the first casinos that I went to were in Vegas, and I really love the Vegas vibe. If you've been there, there's like a billion slot machines, and you can just play all day, every day, for weeks and never, well, probably not weeks, but maybe, and never repeat a machine. Like, there are just so many. I love slot machines. I'm like addicted to slot machines. I just love them. I have a way that I play, and I can play for hours and hours and hours and not lose any money. I don't get rich, but I break even, and to me, breaking even and getting to play all the machines is winning in my mind. So I went to Atlantic City with slot machines on my brain, and it did not disappoint. It was really a lot of fun, and I played slot machines till I was blue in the face, and it was great. But one of the things I noticed as I was walking along the boardwalk was that like every fifth booth was a medium. And somebody saying, they read tarot cards or could read your palm or tell your future or whatever. And it was like constant. And I thought, how bizarre, like these ladies are all in competition with each other. And then I thought, how cool would it be if they were not actually in competition, but they were in sort of like cahoots, like they were in on real magic and they were doing real divination in these locations. How cool would that be? My husband, on a whim, he was like, while we're here, we should go and visit a strip club. And I had never had that experience, so I was enamored and just fine, going to the different mediums booths and playing slot machines and like having an all around lucky experience. But I'm like, you know what? I'm nervous about going, but it could be fun. It could be a great experience. So we drove around and we were looking for a place where we wanted to go, and we found this little hole in the wall, and he was like, if we don't like it, we can always go to another location. So in this club, it was like a lot of black strippers, and I think black women are beautiful. I think all women are beautiful, but I am partial to black women, I suppose. And in Atlantic City, most of the strippers are white that I've noticed. I've been back since, and that's been my experience. But in this club, it was mostly black strippers, and all the staff, the bouncers and everybody was black, and it had a very I don't know how to say it, like down home feel. So I live in Virginia, and my favorite strip clubs are in the South. If you've ever been to the South, it is very different than in the North. Like everybody is naked, and it's just a very different vibe. It's very, I don't know how to say it, but it's like very homey, and it's almost like all these girls are like friends, and they're probably not. They probably hate each other, but that's the vibe that they're selling you, is that they're all friends and it's just one big party. And in the North, it's much more clinical, like, to me. It's more like we're here to provide you a service, and in return you give us money. Like, it's very transactional, and there's nothing wrong with that because it is transactional. But I feel like when you get a bunch of girls from the hood together and they're in the club, they just have this friendly vibe, and it's just like they're there to have a good time as much as you are. And yeah, they're there to make money. It's still got that transactional feel, but it's not the same as in northern clubs. But this particular club had that homey feel, that down home, all these girls are friends, they're just chilling, having a good time. And it wasn't like they're forced to go on stage and be like, okay, everybody has a set and they got to go up there and do their set. It was more like, they could come and go as they kind of pleased. And it was a small club, and there was a lot of girls. So almost like every patron there kind of, like each girl paired off with a patron, and just really delivered the girlfriend experience. Like, I mean, just amazingly. And they were so talented, and I was mesmerized. These girls could dance. That's the other thing. I mean, I know it's cliche, but the girls in black clubs have rhythm, unlike the girls in white clubs. Not that they don't have rhythm, but it's just different. It's just a different experience. They can dance. Like, they have skills and they work on their dancing skills. Like, it's really a point of pride for them, not just pole dancing skills, but just like dancing skills in general. And they're very playful in their dance. It's just, I don't know how to describe it. Anyway, it's funny because the girl that I went back with to get my first lap dance, she was a white girl, but she was just so personable, and she liked me. And if you're a lady in a club, it's a very different experience than if you're a man in a club. Like, the girls tend to get a little bit more flirtatious and excited, just because ladies in the clubs probably are a little bit more rare. I mean, lots of ladies go to clubs, but it's a little bit more rare, and the experience you get is a little bit different. It was just a regular lap dance price, but she wound up getting naked, and it was like I said, the girlfriend experience, like 100%. And then the second lap dance that I got was similar. She was a mixed girl like me, and I don't know, we we just danced together in the back room, and it was really like fun and party like, and it was not, I don't know how to describe it. It was just so relaxed and fun. Even the bouncers there were just so relaxed, and they were just having fun too. And they were just really all about taking care of the girls and making sure they felt safe. And it was just such a great experience. But the thing is that when I went, it was before, well, I guess it was after COVID. But it was right when things were like opening back up and life was going back to normal. But it was clear that the club was struggling because of its location, and all the shops around it were kind of closing up or had already closed up. And the people that neighborhood was attracting were mostly, unfortunately, like homeless people who were using the vacant businesses to crash in. And it's already a difficult situation for a club to, last, in the best of neighborhoods. But when you are in a difficult neighborhood and you're a club late at night, and everybody knows that there's a bunch of beautiful girls in there, and they get a little bit, rambunctious about getting to these women. You can have the best bouncers in the world, but you just can't keep all the riffraff away. And if the girls don't feel safe, they're not going to come back. They're not going to go back to that experience. And so there was a situation where there was a guy outside, and he was clearly loitering, and the police had to be called. And it wasn't like a dangerous situation. It was just like, he just wouldn't go away. He wouldn't go into the club. He wouldn't go away. He was just waiting. He was waiting for someone to come out. I don't know if it was somebody specific or just anybody, but he was waiting, because we closed down with the club. We were like one of the last ones to leave. he was just waiting for the girls to come out, or a girl to come out. And this is what inspired me to write Leading Lady, was just the idea of this guy hanging out waiting for one of the strippers. And it's such a small, it's such a close community, like from where the strip club was to the closest neighborhood. I just imagine like this girl running for her life, trying to get away from this creep, and finding herself in a position where she is being intercepted by one of these Atlantic City witches who hold a booth up on the strip. Obviously, she didn't run exactly into one of their arms, but something similar. So somebody who could really take care of her and be her knight in shining armor. The magic of that night just made me think, like, how vindicated would this girl be if she just had this other woman who could just stand up for her and really show that vigilante justice that we all love to see, but we can't do in real life, just giving the creeps the ultimate comeuppance. So that's what inspired Leading Lady. And this art here is going to be for the second book, like I said, and I want to give it a vibe of they're running away together. And I like the covers. I would like the covers to indicate a certain amount of peril, and them running away, it's going to give that. Working on like placement of the characters and color blocking. I might work directly in this illustration moving forward, or I might open up another page and work on the illustration there. I'm not really sure. But yeah. On future trips to Atlantic City, I wanted to go back to that club, but they had closed down. And for obvious reasons, like I said, it was becoming such a rundown area, and it was probably just not bringing in many girls anymore because they just did not feel safe. It was just such a uncomfortable situation, which is highly unfortunate because I've been to many strip clubs since, and none of them had that vibe of that club. Just that small, intimate, just super friendly. Like, it's like when you imagine like going to a strip club, it's like everything you could imagine. Just everybody's just happy to be there and having a good time. And you get the feeling that these girls are there because they want to be there. They're all healthy. Sometimes you go to clubs and the girls look miserable, and I just feel bad. I'm like, are you here because, I mean, obviously they're there to make money, and if they won the lottery, they would no longer be there. But I wonder, like, are you there because you're being coerced? I don't know. Like, I feel uncomfortable sometimes in some clubs, but there it was just, I don't know. It was just very friendly. I don't know how another word to say it. Homey, comfortable. You just felt it was like the VIP experience, but you were just an everyday person. And it was like a rap video, but instead of it being like about bitches and hoes, it was just about like ladies dancing beautifully and just putting on this amazing show and showing off their talents in such an amazing way. And just, I mean, I don't know, I just left there just being so inspired as an artist to create and make something as beautiful as the images that I found there, and tell a story that was, inspired by things that they were experiencing at that time in that club. Yeah, so that's the art. That's the story of how Leading Lady got inspired, and I wish for all the world that I could find a club as nice and comfortable as that one. That would be super awesome. If you watch this video and you frequent strip clubs, leave your first strip club experience information down below. I would love to know what it was like for you. If you found strippers to be like super, I don't know, inspiring. I find them to be inspiring. They make me want to paint and draw and tell stories, and I just wonder if it inspires you that way as well. That's the art for today, and we will close up here. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great rest of your day.